Good morning, everyone. We'll get started here in about 2 minutes. Thanks for being here. Well, good morning, everybody. Hope you guys had a great night. Let me go ahead and move this over to where I can see what I need to see. Again, welcome to this morning's Hawkeye Morning Lab. We're going to start today with the calendar because I want us to make sure that we understand, again, the weather of the markets before we get into some trades. I'm already in some trades, but we'll see what happens here. And I will do my best to keep my eye on the chat box for you guys. And if you can see my screen and hear my voice, just let me know by putting a yes in the chat box there. Thank you very much. If one can hear, then we all can hear. Yesterday, man, oh man, yesterday, what a day. We had three trading opportunities. We won on all three of them. One did make the 17 final target. The other two closed out, stopped for profit. So we followed our plan, did exactly what we wanted to do. But yesterday gave us a real dollar kind of positive backdrop. It really kind of helped us out. That stronger U.S. PMI and better ADP. And then we saw softer pieces in Europe and UK. And then overnight, Aussie inflation cooled more than they expected. So that's kind of cool. So today is definitely not a panic news morning in our first window, but it's not completely a casual normal day either. So we just have to be real careful. Let's go ahead and dive into our news just so we can see where we're at. Here we go. Again, today is Wednesday. And just quickly looking over yesterday, this is what we were just talking about, how we look at what was previous, what's forecast, and how did it turn out. You can see we had some pretty sizable CPI numbers come in under under level, but yeah, overall, not horrible. Again, this one was sizably under yesterday morning, and then President Trump spoke around 1 o'clock. I don't know even exactly what he said. It didn't seem to move the markets all that much. Today, we've already had some people speaking this morning. We don't have any what we call red folder news in our time together, but overall, a pretty light. But we got the Aussie coming in later again tonight. So no real red major news going in. We do have some trades that I'm in on the Aussie US. A little bit strange. Yeah, I don't know if your tools are doing the same thing, but I want to bring this to your attention just because it's a little quirky. Notice that it says 7.2 but it's bouncing. So something's not quite right. My bet is I've been working on my trading view quite a bit and I haven't refreshed in quite some time. My bet is that it's causing me some problems. So not a big deal. Not a big deal at all. We just know that the numbers are correct because I verified them on another screen, but for some reason it's not laying down at the bottom like it normally does. So don't panic. Ah, it finally flipped there. So now we've got a little flip. Now we got the 7-3. We may be having a loss right off the bat here. A typical flip. The Aussie US and the pound US both are where we're short. The pound yen and the euro pound, those are our swing trades. So we can ignore those for this morning. But let's look at the dollar before we just start diving into stuff. And let's go to our daily on this one. And you can see what we were talking about. Just some real strength in the dollar overall. We set our happy place. I would still say that's my happy place. Maybe even a little bit higher up now. Maybe in this area as a possible pullback. We do have room. It doesn't look like you have a lot, but that's quite a bit of room to the upside before we get into our Sherlock area. That's 1,000. Um, Maybe a little bit earlier than that, but this is dollar strength. Perfect picture of it going down to the 4 hour. Again, this is the cleanest thing on the board. Um, Dollar has not been drifting at all, and it's definitely been climbing. The daily and 4 hour dollar strength pressing above that important structure. We created a nice little um, demand right here. That's a great spot to consider, and I'd even move into that realm right there as a conservative pullback because we can look at these other ones and see they can pull back, but my goodness, and we got these major lines here, but this thing is flying away. So, and that matters because before we can decide whether the euro pound or euro US, pound US, Aussie US, US CAD, US yen is tradable, we need to know what the itself is doing. And today, the dollar is the driver. So we just have to be able to withstand some of those ups and downs. So let's look at this on a 1 hour and you'll see the same thing. Just powerful. Just moving right on up. Now, this is where we have to be mature traders. That we get down to the dollar and the 15. The dollar is strong, but it's also very extended. So we have to be real careful just to try to chase after this thing because that may not be the smartest thing to do. Um, that is a pound US crossing. I've got to take some, that means I made some money on this thing. I got to get out of this real quick. I don't even know. So I'm going to make an estimate here of 4,000. We just started bouncing off of that. I am going to now close partial position. I'm going to take 4,100 off and I'm going to partially close. It's a little not quite as strong as I'd like. And then we're going to wait a little bit to see what happens here. I am going to move this down just a tad. There's no reason to go all the way down yet. 7-1. So we'll see. And that was in the middle of everything. That's kind of nice to have some profit taken right off the bat. But we want to give it a little bit of room to breathe. And remember, I've got till 10 minutes before I have to move my stop to the 7 pip mark. So we'll see what happens. It could come right back up and move back down. So we've got some time. Let's head back to our dollar, though. Again, the dollar is the driver here. Again, that's what's moving that pound US. We want to be very careful. It is extended. It looks more like that when you look at it squished and squashed. You don't want to get too spread out because it looks really flat, but it's really not. So you have to be a little bit more wise um, with your chart picking right here because if we're late to the push, we just want to wait for that market to come back to us. A pullback that holds, a retest that confirms, or even a clean continuation structure, which we don't have quite yet. It's still tradable. A candle that already ran into a wall is not good. So we got to be careful with that one. So let's move to our gold because we're trying to fly through this a little bit quicker since we are in some trades. And we may not have a long session today if we get our trades in. Again, you guys already know from if you've been in the room. Gold is weak, but we are coming into some support area with gold. Gold is continuing the dollar pressure. That's all it is. And the trend has been heavy, but notice where it is sitting. It is near a major floor. So that is where inexperienced traders see those red candles and they just want to pile in short. We're not going to do that today, not with gold. Gold can absolutely continue lower. I think it will, but we need the floor to fail before or we need a bounce to fail. We do not need to short it directly to that support area. So just because its move is obvious, that doesn't mean we want to just jump in. Looking at the 4 hour, this is why. It's just a pretty setup with nothing ahead of us. That the daily has more than the 4 hour does. And it's kind of like that way on the 1 hour as well. So let's drop down to 1 hour. Not a whole lot here. We got this one little hiccup, but remember the higher the time frame, the more reliable. So we do have this on the daily. We do have this on the 1 hour. So this is one of those opportunities where it's going to dig in, most likely come back to our area right here. And if it's really weak, it's going to continue. So we're going to wait on this. If you're trading gold, that's what I would encourage you to do. Dropping down to 15. One thing I did not look at, yeah, we got 15. I figure we got some hurdles here. Let's do this. Let's see if it'll let me do this. Yeah, I do want to look at the cues here, but I want to look at it on and notice it's, okay, yeah. See how extended that is on the daily? Pulled back, bounced, got some gaps, gapped again this morning already. But I would be waiting for this. This is going to be a nice trade early on. Let's go 3 day. You can see it's just getting a rally basing and pressing up. We're on that major ceiling. 4 day. Yeah, we're just going to wait on that one. I just wanted to check and see what it was looking like. Okay, we're good. Let me get that out of the way. Sorry about that, guys. Get that out of the way so it doesn't slow us down here. So let's go ahead and move on back to our radar screen. Talk about our radar. This one, strangely enough, is 7-2 and not doing very well for us right now. Let's talk about our radar. We're radar 7-2, which is a 5 spread. Bring that down just, it's really acting weird. That is just weird. And we'll confirm it here. We do know that the Aussie is 2, though, because I can confirm it by coming in here and going to the Aussie CAD, and that's showing a 3. That's showing a 3. That means I should be showing a 3 there, too, and that confirms that. So this one may not work out, but we're in a good spot, really, to be honest. The dollar has not weakened. Really, there's no Aussie news. So this is just a typical pullback. And the question will be, is can we weather the storm? So as we're looking at our radar, we're seeing a 4. And when I mean talking about a 4, we're looking at our Hercules score here. We're not actually looking at structure up here yet. We will, but right now we're just looking at the Hercules score because that's what's going to give us what we can trade. Hercules is going to tell us what's moving right now with any sort of strength. Right now we have a 7-2 on the Aussie US. That confirms where we are. And this may be a good time to get in if you were not in it. That's a 5. We have a 3, a 2, a 3, a 2, a 6. And then we already in that one as well. Took profit on that one already. And then we have the one that I really like, the US CAD. However, there's no spread on the US CAD right now on Hercules. It's got a great uptrend, and we'll look at it. Great uptrend. And then the US yen obviously is going to mirror the dollar a little bit. So a little bit weird right now. So we have a 1 there. Again, why is the yen in the US pinned to the top? Because it is our safe haven currency right now. Looking at the euro yen structure wise, this is a pretty good structure, but we don't have the spread here. So we just have to be able to wait this out and then ride this hopefully to profitability. I'm not so sure we're going to get it. And this is the risk of hanging on to this longer. We got 5 minutes. And the reason is because this could very well come up. Notice I moved it from up here. So really, I'm only risking about a third of a percent. So even if I lose right now, this will be a break-even trade. But I'm anticipating, since it's a 7-1 and the pound is down at the bottom pretty much, that this is just a pullback, natural pullback. And hopefully I didn't move my stop too close in. spread's good. So we just have to wait out this storm. I would estimate that this would kind of want to come back. It's coming back testing this area. There's nothing here that's telling me that this should be going up with any sort of strength. No news. This is people algorithm trading. This could be people taking their profits like we did. This could be all sorts of reasons. Or it can't go any further down, but so we're gonna buy it. All sorts of crazy things. But we got a lot of room up here, so I'm a little worried about where my stop's at right now. So for just sake of talk, I'm gonna move it right back to where it was, and I'm gonna use my timetable. I'm gonna use my clock. So per my rules, what I can do is I can move it to the 7 pip. Right now, we're going to be taking me completely out of the position. If it's closed out at the 15 right here, I can move it to the next most reasonable pivot point and save. The key is I have to be able to trail it at this point. I have to be sitting here to do so. And really, at any point that these start changing, that's when I really, if it looks like this, I want to get out of the trade because I'd at least move my stop down. Because the last thing you want to do is take 25% off here and then have the rest of it go against you. I mean, it's still going to be less than 1%. So again, mathematically speaking, we just have to be cautious and aware of that. And then we wait. My goodness. Again, what you're seeing here is a swing trade on the pound yen. So let's look at that real quick as we're looking. And you're going, why would you day trade? I'm not. This is going to be a 4 hour. Notice it's on the 4 hour chart already. So we played this short. We had a sell and it went way against us. And now we're just moving down. But if you notice, we can break this demand zone. There's really nothing ahead. Notice I still have my bar to connect. I'm going to slide this over just a bit. And again, that's my alert to take profit off and play the game the same way we do with our higher time frame. It doesn't look too horrible on the shorter time frame either. So if you're not in this trade, this is a structurally 5. You're going into some headwind, so I would wait. Headwind means just we've got some demand. I would always, before jumping in, look at your hour just to make sure there's, yeah. So you want to make sure you have enough room. And you have 24 pips. So if you jumped in right now, it's a little tight, but you could justify it based on the trade plan. This you can't though. This is headwind. So you would want to wait. We just had the crossing here. So looking back, if it popped back up in that area, it would be a good opportunity possibly there. All things staying the same. Again, euro pounds, the same kind of picture. Look at that nice little move we finally had down. Again, we had a buyer's, that's kind of a cool thing. So again, 614, you had a buyer's candle that's red, and this is going to be a seller candle that's green, but this is the area of control. And we haven't hit our target, so it's not going to do us much on this other than giving us some sort of strength on the short end here. And usually that's going to be a picture here as well. We're going to see a drop here. We'll go to the pound here right now. We got to go to the pound now. So we have to make a decision here of where's the most reasonable place to go. We're still at 7-1, which is a 6 spread. And so I'm going to definitely go back down to where we were. And now we take the chance of potentially not being, it potentially could come in and end up turning into almost a break-even trade. I'm going to go where my entry is and figure out where 7 point is. That's going to be just about there. Yeah, we've been stopped out almost immediately. Now, what I'd like to do is as we watch this and we get closer to that 7 pips, that's 31.52. Trail this thing and get, let this thing kind of breathe a little bit. 7-1, watch that Hercules. And really, we have nothing to do on the Aussie US at this point. Now, remember, if we have 2 trades that both hit our target and we take 25% off, and then it comes back and hits our 7, that's a 0.5% gain. So don't panic. Let's not go into the 17.5. That's icing on your cake. So we had two of those yesterday that went to the 10 pips, took the 25% off per our rules, and then we got tapped out at this at the 7 pip mark. We did have one that went all the way to the 17 and a half. So we had about a 2% day yesterday. So a fantastic trading day. 2% for 3 days is 6% a week. 6% a week is 30% a month. And is that right? 6%, 6% per week. Call it 24 if you trade 3 days a week. 24% for the month. Now, again, that's not always going to happen. Consistent look, consistent dime dropping is what this is. So, as we're waiting for this to happen, just a couple of quick things on the Hawkeye radar. It's definitely active. We have multiple charts showing fives and sixes and sevens. We had, and that does mean there's opportunity. But it also means that we need to be a little bit more careful. A strong radar doesn't always correlate to every chart being successful. So just be real careful. 7-1, we're going to pull this out. Notice we have a 7-2-5. That's a 3-2-3-5, 6-2, and a 1. So really nothing that we're not already in. A little disappointed on the pound US. I would have liked to see that kind of fall apart, but hey, we'll just wait. Definitely the main teacher today would be the US yen. Um, it has strong Hercules numbers. However, the spread's not good. It's one, and so it's gonna trend. It's constructive. The dollar is going to agree with it. So we definitely don't want to chase this one. If it pulls back, holds structure, and Hercules stays supportive, then maybe we can act on it. But this to me doesn't look like a day trade. It looks more structured to be something different. That US CAD is an interesting one too. Um, let's look at that. And there's just no, I mean, structurally, this was absolutely perfect. It went up, pulled back, went up, pulled back. Everything's in alignment. Dollar strong, Canadian dollars at a 5. This is going to grind forward. And if you're willing to take the weight on this, then you don't trade it. This to me is more like a very, very short-term swing trade. I would move to the 1 hour. It had its pullback, and then I would ride it up. It did its pullback. We're a little bit late to the pullback, but still in room if you wanted to go. Still only a 7.5 though, even on a pullback. If you go to the 4 hour, it's still a 7.5. So this thing's been holding pretty good across the board with dollar being the strong one. But you may have to wait this one out. It's going to be very, very flat, I think. I think you're still going to grow, but it's going to be flat. That's the US CAD. Now the Euro US, that's an interesting one right now. Where we at time-wise? We still got some time. So let's look at the Euro US. So we're flying through some of these pairs here. It is 620. We're only at a 3, and what we're doing here is just winding up. It's holding this pivot low and just hanging on. So notice we've had this nice drop here. It came in and it flattened out, and then it's kind of rising. I would not jump on this. Dollar's been strong. It's been strong for a long time. That could change. That could change at the 7:30 for a temporary time. You never know. I don't anticipate it changing, but we don't make predictions here. So again, we need a breakout below this and a solid close, and then a retracement back to this area to get back in, unless something changes with Hercules. Right now, we can't do a breakout because it doesn't have enough strength. Doesn't have the strength. It has the trend. It just doesn't have the strength. So we're going to blow that up and watch that. Okay, so we're starting to recover here on our Aussie US 7-2. Yeah, I had that same question this morning. The question in our YouTube live is, are we going to complete the MT4, MT5 um, um, differences and similarities? Yes, we're on it. Have family in town, so it's been a little less time around the computer. In addition, I am still building the legacy compass out. Yesterday, I really dug into that one. So today I probably will go into the MT4, MT5, since that seems to be a little bit more, not important, pressing, I would say. A little bit more pressing right now. All right, we're getting back closer to the area where we took our 10 pips, and that's what we want. We want to be able to kind of um, slide our trailing stop behind it. Remember, your trade plan is a living, breathing document. And what I mean by that does not mean you're tinkering with it to make it fit something. You're going to make additions to your trade plan and subtractions from your trade plan based on data. So, for instance, how are you going to trade manage? So, when we first started this strategy, we said, okay, no matter what, we move our stop immediately to the 7 pip mark. And that's fine too. For ease, that's absolutely perfectly fine to do. And we've been out of this trade and pretty much ready to engage it again if we wanted to do so. Um, and willing to take those commissions though every time you're in and out. But with that being said, we also said, okay, what if we wait to the closing of the candle to make the decision? Now you can see why that hurt us here. But sometimes giving it just a little bit of breathing room when you got the momentum so heavy on your side, um, that's a huge thing as well. So I hate when it does that. There we go. Um, so that's the living, breathing part. You're not moving your targets. You're not really moving your stop further away. You don't want to move your stop too close because then you will get tapped out when you know that the momentum is on your side. So you just have to be a little bit. But once you lay it into your plan, leave it there. And don't give yourself too many options. Giving yourself too many options allows you to tinker. And tinkering will over time will cause you to lose money. Again, not to be depressing, 95% of day traders lose money. So it is an income source. It's not a wealth accumulation or wealth building type strategy. And that's going to be our legacy compass. The legacy compass will be much slower as far as presentation, but much more clean as far as purpose of wealth building, an accumulation of assets that have value. Yeah, and so we just sit and wait. It's 6:20, almost 6:25. But again, we have this fight going on the Aussie. It's not the dollar. This is the Aussie kind of moving first or whatever. My bet is the other pairs are weaker, and it just appears that the Aussie is strong. Um, but we got to respect this pivot low followed by a buy candle, followed by another buy candle, followed by a seller's candle. And this area right here, hopefully you're seeing it, 68.90 is the area of control right now. And we could easily bring our stop down once we hit this target down to this area right here. But I think we're going to be in a quandary for a bit. Looking left, I mean, really, this is the area that was control. I still think it is. I think it's still fighting this area. So, but this is going to be somewhat of the same picture we're going to have with the pound US. We're having that same battle. So the question is, to me, is although we know that the dollar is strong, is it as strong as we think it is? Is this people clearing out? Because we've got a pivot, buyer's candle here, followed by another buyer candle at this point. Drop base, drop. Here's where the pivot was, right where our 10 pips was. Remember, we talked about 60% of all trades hit our 10 pips. And again, hindsight on this one, we wish we could have got out, but we didn't. And then here in a moment, we probably say, I wish we did stayed in. And if we get out now, it's going to go ahead and drop like a rock. And that's why we just got to be patient. I really like my stop here, though, just a little bit higher up. And I'm going to play that right there. That area is what digs in. And then my next area, which our stop was up here, but I don't want to get too far because if it happens to change on us, I don't want to lose the profit that we did have. Although, again, I agree to the 1% loss. I'd prefer not having it. Again, and if you have not got into this trade, this is a pullback to a pretty strong area. If you were to zone this off, it's this green candle right here, this whole entire green candle, and that's kind of where we're at right now, kind of retracing back to where our original entry was. But remember, we had this major floor here, and it's testing it right now. It broke it, tried to test it, now it's testing it again. It's a good trade, good trade. Let me check something real quick. I'll make sure I'm not leaving my friends out on. Yeah, okay, cool. I want to make sure. I'm going to check the chat box on my YouTubers. My YouTubers, you should be seeing my screen. Um, Strangely enough, it's not. Let me move it up here like this. I'm not exactly sure why it's not sharing over there, but we're going to. Let me see something real quick. I want to make sure I'm closing out my uh, PowerPoint here because it's showing my PowerPoint. Make sure I am sharing the right screen here with my team. If you're on my YouTube channel watching, are you able to see my charts? Just put that in the chat box for me, please. Okay, so you seeing my Hawkeye screen or are you seeing my charts? I'm gonna just momentarily go over here and make sure that we're all on the same page here. So again, in the chat box for my YouTubers, we got several. Okay, uh, so you're on YouTube. Fantastic. I want to make sure because on mine it's showing the Hawkeye splash screen. So I want to make sure that on the YouTubers you're able to see everything. Fantastic. Thank you. And I'll do my best to watch that too. Let's see. Close that out. Making sure everything is getting to be where it's at as we're waiting. Kind of squish and squash so I can see multiple things. I would love one more screen. Absolutely. One more screen would be nice. One more screen would be nice. I think Al has like crazy amount of screens, so crazy amount. Yeah, he does. 6 screens. Not what we wanted to see this morning. We got 7-3, 7-1, and it's moving against us. We're just got to weather the storm here. Same thing with this. We're just going to weather the storm. Nothing else is really giving us any sort of clarity here. Let me see something real quick. Good signal there. All is well. I really thought this would be a real exciting morning. We had I obviously took a profit off a little bit right off the bat, but definitely not expecting. Let me see what we got going on just to make sure we're not missing anything. Okay, we got some people speaking Canadian. Okay, that may be what's happening here. Just yeah, but I'm not, it's not anytime somebody speaks, that's usually an issue because you never know what they're going to say. I'm really kind of surprised at this move right here. But if we look at the dollar, we go back over to our dollar, and really this is our focal point. You can see what's happening. It's just right, and we can keep an eye on this even as we speak. We've got this nice little move up, and it's just in a place where it wants to pull back from. It is what it is. Oh, yeah, this the Aussie US may not work out so well today. Strange, very strange. But again, it's a reflection of that dollar pullback. We talked about that. And it goes again, that's why day trading is difficult because at any moment you can have that pullback on the dollar. And if you can't weather that storm, it gets kind of rough. And if you look at the 30-minute chart, you can see we've got room to the downside. That does not mean the trend's bad. See, that's the problem. Again, down room to the downside. And you're just hoping to catch that momentum. Room to the downside, but with major, we even marked our happy spot there. So we even told ourselves before we started, we could have even though the trend is up and the dollar's strong, we could have that temporary pullback to move up. And that's kind of what's happening. But again, you can't predict the future. You just got to go on the structure that we were in and then weather the storm and be consistent enough to weather the storm. So right now we just hang on and see what happens. And we accept the loss that we have. I do like the swing trades that we're in still. They're viable, especially the pound yen. But even that five on a 15-minute chart, that five is not moving that far. But the structure, yeah, the structure has been a whole lot easier to see this week than in previous weeks. So that's a nice change. What was I doing there? I was looking for that again. Yeah, definitely a risk management day. Definitely a risk management day. I love the fact you're putting in the chat box there, Jonathan. We'll get my YouTubers going. The strange thing is I'm seeing the Hawkeye splash screen on my YouTube and I'm seeing the news. So it's like we're doing a replay of there we go. I'm gonna move this, go to live. Hopefully I'm not changing your stuff. We've been at about 35 minutes. It's just not following is what's happened. It's just not following with it. That's what's happening. It's just not trailing. And what I mean by following my screen is not showing where I'm currently at. It's showing it's never started on my end, which is okay. It's showing live to y'all though, so that's a good sign. Yeah, so we took profit this morning on pound US. Now we're just waiting, weathering the storms, which is typical. 6:30 in the morning, typical. We did move our stop from the pound US away from the 1%. So right now we're sitting at about a 0.5% loss. Got several people on the YouTube channel, the Zoom rooms. We got a decent group here this morning. Summer months, you never know who's going to pop in on a summer month. Guys, I will tell you, let me just take a commercial break just real quick. Goodness, Tread. No, 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 no. I want to go to, what do I want to go to? I want to go to our channel here. Um, and point out a couple. Oh, we are live there. There we are live. If you have not gone through this Start Here video series, I would definitely encourage everybody to do that. Definitely the first three, um, and then definitely make comments on them. We've had a great amount of people viewing this. But this is the starting spot. And the next place you want to go is this one. And what we did is intentionally made it less than 30 minutes because our brains can't handle any more than that. So it's not an all-encompassing video series at all. This is in our public domain area, not in our members area. If you were with us last week, we did these all public. Again, this is Hawkeye normally is in our private area. You will not see the recordings, except this is a gift to our public to show them what we're doing. Same thing with the time savvy trader swing trading sessions that I lead on Mondays. These are just your public. But down here is really what I want, where we're going to start building. This one right here, Market 101. You need to be watching that. I don't care who you are. It's a short. It doesn't all encompassing. It's not. It's short, but it dives into what the news actually is. These acronyms, what does that mean? Red folders, which ones we have to pay attention to. It talks about what bucket they're in. And when we understand what bucket they're in, then it makes it a little bit easier for us to trade them. So lots of good stuff down here. We did, as I mentioned earlier, we will be doing an MT4, MT5 comparison video that will go down here in the public education area. We may put it in the members only area as well, but definitely, 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 if you have not watched the Start Here series, this is where some heavy, heavy hitters are going to be. So definitely want you to look at that. And we're still waiting on that dollar. It looks like we're going to get tapped out here, which is okay. It looks like that dollar is being pulling back. Um, Bad timing on our part. We can't predict the future. It is what it is. And we regroup. It's a 7-4 now on the policy US. 3-1-6-3. Even the yen is moving, which is really strange. Went down to 5, so which would be the 6? Kiwi, maybe? No. Maybe the 5 is. I probably need to bring up the Hercules that shows the whole master. But notice this Euro US pulling back. This may be one. It could not break the bottom. This may be one up here that we can do a pullback if this will spread just a little bit more and we can jump in on that momentum. Um, just a really, really odd morning. And we got a little bit of bounce happening here. And when you just get a buyer's candle here, then we will clear those other ones. And some days we just don't win. We'll continue to record to the top of the hour and then we'll look at where we're at and do what we did yesterday. If it's still sitting there, there's no reason for us to be sitting on a screen. We'll talk about what we'll do when we decide we want to walk away. You have to have that in your trade plan. You have to have some walk away rules. You can close it out. I mean, however, yeah, we got a few people watching. That's a great question, Jonathan. Where are they from and where are you on your journey? Golly, it's been over a decade of, golly, 12, 13 year for me doing currency trading. Long time. Time does go by very, very fast. And we in the YouTube channel, these are the guys that are probably watching as they're driving. And I say guys as guys and gals watching as they're driving down the road. So if you are driving down the road, listening and watching, don't take your hands off the steering wheel. It's kind of like what we say when we're on the phone and somebody says, "Hey, will you pray for me about this?" And I said, "Let me pull over first." Because I'm Baptist. We have to close our eyes. Don't want me praying when I'm driving. Don't be scared to use the chat box, guys. Don't be scared. That's really how the learning happens is when people communicate. So what we're showing on the screen, because I can't tell exactly who's in our room on the YouTube channel. We've got Sherlock, which you get with membership automatically. That's these institutional numbers, those colors. And then we're using Tide Fusion, but I want to make very, very careful. Oh, we got this dollar strength coming back. I want to be very, very clear about the Tide Fusion. Tide Fusion is set up for a 4-hour swing. It's our 4-hour swing tool. It is not our day trading tool. However, Al, who normally runs the Hawkeye session, has some extra numbers that he's using with Tide Fusion. And he has found a little kind of little niche that he can fit that in. But mine's set to default, so I'm just using it for visual references only. Um, oh. And then we use Hercules. Hercules is our momentum tool. It is immediate feedback, these numbers right down here. And on this trade plan, we're looking for a 5 spread or more. Because I keep seeing in and people coming in and out of our YouTube channel, so I want to make sure they know what they're looking at. So you, as a member, you get the Sherlock, and then some people just don't like all the tools, and that's fine. You pick the tools that you think make most sense for you. Or I will tell you, a decade ago, my screen was completely empty, nothing on it. It's called Naked Trading, strangely enough. And there's books on it, kind of get rid of the noise. Jonathan, I just want to tell you, it looks like you're our number one fan at this point, according to the chat. You got the crown, number one person here. And we do have a kickback off of this dollar. If we can have that close at the 645 mark looking like this, our stop would have been brilliantly placed on the Aussie US. Yeah, has it been 2 years? My gosh. That just doesn't seem right. Jonathan, I think you're going to really enjoy the legacy compass that I'm building, though. Simple, not time consuming, definitely a planned out. We're looking at, I'm talking to a person today, having a demo on a tool. How do you say this? That's using AI, but it's going to, golly, automate your banking, I would say is the best way to do it. So for instance, you get a paycheck. Let's just say you have an LLC. Maybe you're a regular person like me with a normal job. You would take this program and your paycheck immediately goes into this program technically. And this program is built to send let's say you made $1,000. You're going to send $1,000 to your savings account or $100 to your savings account, $100 to your investment account, $100 to a charity, and then the rest goes into your checking for daily use. It will automatically disperse it for you anytime money hit. Doesn't matter what money hits that account. It automatically disperses the 10% or whatever you choose it to be to make it to where you are mechanically forced to budget, save, invest, pay bills off, pay off student loans like we're doing. It's automatically maximizing my flow, and it does it automatically. And so, very, very inexpensive tool. And when I say inexpensive, it's inexpensive, but it's going to allow me personally to make weekly deposits into my Roth IRA. Anytime money hits the account, it automatically takes a percentage, whether it be $5, $10, it takes a percentage of whatever hits the account and moves it over there automatically. Then I have a cash account in my Roth that I can transfer based on what I find to be an asset that I want to own, or assets, I would say. So, yeah. And so, what we do here in the Hawkeye Room 645, a lot of times we find ourselves sitting and waiting, um, and because we're already in. So, this is our radar screen again, because I'm seeing some new people pop in. Again, if you're in the YouTube, tell us where you're from, what you're watching, where you're at your trading journey. Kind of helps us. Um, so what we're looking at is what we call our radar screen. We have eight currently up. I've got the dollar here. We don't trade the dollar. Well, I say we don't directly. Indirectly, we do through the currency pairs. But an asset's an asset. So just know the dollar is going to move most assets. So we're sitting here and wow. No, that's not even a broker. Matter of fact, what Jonathan's referring to is the automated program. The automated program has no clue who my brokers are. So I will it's backed by a bank. Your money is going to be deposited in a bank. It's an FDIC approved. It's only for US people. I don't have a solution yet for those outside the US. But it's a bank. It's a reliable, protected, insured bank. And all it is a landing spot for your cash. And then you create paths. You create the path. So when money deposits in that program, it will go to my EECU account. So if I want my daily budget, obviously my checking account's at my EECU. So instead of directly sending it to EECU from my district, it sends it, it breaks it apart however I make the paths. And so what my biggest problem for me is I get a paycheck on the 20th of the month, and I'm not looking to automatically save. I'm not looking automatically to invest. And it becomes a real kind of pain because I have to go back and manage it. But if it's forcing me to do it right as soon as money hits my account, for instance, I give tithe to my church. This will allow me, as soon as the money hits the account, to take my 10% and automatically sends it to my church. I don't have to uh, do any sort of debit or check writing or anything. It's automatic, so it's immediately going there. So. And it's a very automatic, and it doesn't take the heart away. Now, what it does with a broker, it can deposit it to a broker. So if I want to deposit a portion to my trading account, I can set a path up and go directly to my trading account, and that's fine too. My goal was for my building wealth accumulation. That's my goal. Yeah, it's very cool. I've got a good amount of money in my regular trading. I'm not so sure I really want to have more, but I definitely don't have enough in my wealth bucket. And being 59 and a half, my Roth needs to be a whole lot higher than it is. Guys, it looks like, even though our numbers tell us that the dollar's strong and the pound is weak, it looks like we are going to get tapped out on the pound US because the dollar still overall has room for pullback. And that's what's seemingly happening here. So we very well could have on our 2 day trades 2 losses. If that happens, per our rules, we can only lose 2%. Well, we have 1.5% at this point. If both of those lose, we have 1.5% loss going out. Absolutely, definitely old. Yeah, when I got the paperwork, it says I can start withdrawing from my Roth. I was like, what are you talking about? I'm not able to withdraw from my Roth. And sure enough, I can. I won't. I don't need it. There's no reason to withdraw it. Again, guys, we need to be very aware of especially in our wealth building accounts, what our taxable consequence of selling is. What I mean by that is if you have assets and you sell and you're not being protected by a tax account, then you're going to be capital gains. So you need to make sure that your growth. So if you're getting let's just say a 5% growth in your account and you sell it because you reached 5%, that's a taxable event. And that taxable event, depending on what tax bracket you're in, can actually wipe out the entire um, profit. So be very careful with selling assets for gains. Yeah, guys, it looks like we're going to get tapped out, and that's okay. 2% loss for the day. It looks like our dollar is actually weakening a little bit, and the yen, our safe haven currency, is taking over. So when we're looking at that, we really have nothing. My bet is we're now at a we have a US dollar coming down and the Aussie coming up, and there's no reason for it. This could be just, again, like we mentioned at the beginning of the session, where we come into that top of the hour and it does its thing. So the Aussie did tap us out. You can see it automatically did it. Again, not worried about it. We have a 7-0 now on our pound yen. So let's look at the pound yen for a day trade opportunity. I won't be doing it, but because I'm in a swing trade already and I'm already short. So I don't want to add to the position because I'm going to add to the risk. Um, there is nothing right here that's telling me that I need to be in it right now. My bet is this little wick over wick. Again, we are completely out of our trades. All of them hit. One was a 1.5. And now we can recalibrate because our maximum loss is 2%. I'm still there. I may end up a little bit more. If I see something here, look at that pound got strong. That's not what we wanted. So let's look at our radar again. 650 getting the closest. There's nothing right now that tells us we want to trade. Look at that dollar just drop. And that's going to show on the US. Oh, that's not what I want. Let's go pound yen here. US yen here. Again, guys, if there's any, and ladies, if there's any pair that you want to look at that I'm not, we got all these pairs we could look at. But look at that. We're into demand on the US yen. So we've come down into it. And my bet is we'll bounce. And we just couldn't wait out the storm. That's all that is. So we're going to take this off. To me, it's not a trend change. No, to me, it's not a trend change. We're still at a 4 here. And I think we're going to get real tight. I think the dollar isn't really weak. I just think the yen. I think this is a pullback, and I think the yen is the next safe haven currency. Um, I really don't think this. Why is it? That's just nuts, really, to be honest. I'm gonna take this off real quick. I'm gonna put it back on. It's kind of bad when you have to um, get permission to put your own tools back on. So yeah, here's our 6-4. You can see it. Now this is what it looks like when you have all of them picked. Yeah. And what you do is you just go in here, go in here to settings and symbol only. And I don't think it's moderate. I think I've got it on faster, I think. Better, that would be nice to know. Let's see what we got. Maybe it is moderate. It is moderate. I'm not so sure why we're on moderate, to be honest, but I'm almost thinking I like fast better, but we'll see. Moderate's been working, so I can't complain. That's good. Maybe we just want to go that route for. Jonathan, you're still with us. Do you know what your Hercules is set for? I've been using moderate, and it's been working fine, but I don't want to change it in the middle of a session either. So just want to make sure we're comparing apples to apples here. My tide setting, I've not done anything with tide this week, so I'm more looking at what my Hercules setting is, making sure it's consistently across the board. But I always thought we were on a fast for Hercules on the, yeah. So I've been running moderate, so I'm gonna go ahead since we're not in any trade. That may be why I was a little late to the game this morning. Let's go ahead and put that across the board of fast. Let it recalibrate and see if it gives us anything at the top of the hour here. It may not change a thing, but it could. It will give us a little more immediate look at what we're going. Yeah, look at that. That's a breakout move right there. That's a five. Let's go here. This is a euro yen. I like it. I like it lots. So look, 1.1, I don't like that. So here's our setup screen. We're going to just turn that on. We risk 1%, 17 and 14. Quickly hit it in. Great stop positioning. And then we come in. This is exactly what a great trade setup will look like. Again, we're on demo. I'm not saying to do this. I only took one trade this morning on my live, and that was the pound US. So I can only manage one on my live. Okay, so I'm going to now come in here as per our rules. We're going to measure out from where we are to our 10 pip move. And this is where Al has got it down to an art. That's 183.21.6. 21.6. I'm going to open that up. And it is settings. There we go. And what I like to do is I like to come in here and I'm looking for 25%. So divide that by four, you're talking 6,200. So just for sake of numbers, I'm going to put 6,300. So if this hits this, I'm going to put 6,300. I'm glad you guys are watching now because this is how I would do it. Now, what Al will do, he's got it down, and I don't know the system well enough, is Al will automatically put in, as soon as he's in the trade, he's able to set this up automatically. The only thing he has to do is move his stop, which is fantastic. So when he gets back from his European vacation, um, he will show me how to do that. But be very, very careful with this. You want to make sure that I'm always be very careful with array to make sure it's going to be in line with the candles because I don't know for sure that if you're to the left or right, will it register? So I don't know if array actually sees all the way down here and all the way forward. So now we just sit back and wait. We're 7-1 on the euro yen. That could be a nice trade. Gets us out of the US dollar kind of freaking out here. Although look at that bounce. And then we've got that right there. We're just a little bit off, I think. I think this is the bounce we were waiting for. We're at 7 again, 7-0. This would be a pound US trade. Again, demo. That is a confirmation move. I would go in here, again, top of the hour. And again, I'm going to go ahead and get in for education purposes only, structure it just like that. Doesn't get much prettier than that. We have a confirmation move at a movement where the dollar is, and then we do the same thing. And we're doing this for practice so we know what we're doing. Now, could this go against me? Absolutely. Absolutely it could. We didn't take a full analysis other than the 7-0. We didn't take a full analysis, but we've been watching it this morning. So let's get our 10 point. That's going to be at the 31.51 mark. And there we go. Euro US has got a Sentinel alert. Now, Sentinel is our trade, our day trading signal for breakout. So we may want to look at that. We don't want to be in too many trades at one time, though. So we're going to come over to 31. I'm going to measure this out too again because look at that thing just bouncing all over the place. We got the top of the hour. That's what's happening here. So this is the time of day. Well, the pound just got strong, 31.51. But again, we're going to come in here at 31.51, put array. It'll be gone by then, but I don't think it'll make that long. 31.51. 31.51. I was way off. And click OK. And then we're going to, nice confirmation move. Noticing going back to where it was once demand, it broke right here, came back in, moved down. Now, if this thing starts eating it up, then we may have a trend change for the day. We will see. So let's go ahead and put our alert here. It's a crossing. And just for speed's sake, on my live trade, I would be doing the exact amount of 25%. Mathematically, that's important. So 4,200 at that point, and we sit and wait. Give us something to talk about today. Yeah, this may go against us, and which is really strange. Really, really strange. But fast can move a lot faster than the moderate. So we'll see if we like I might go back to moderate. I don't know. We'll see. But this trade session will go to a fast setting and see what we got. I'm not near as in a hurry when I get to the moderate as I am when I'm on fast. Things shift a whole lot quicker. Yeah, we're halfway to our stop out. Candle is just fighting. The pound yen is great move, but again, we had this bounce up and now we're fighting. That dollar is just not wanting to go. It is just not one. And now we've created a supply above it. No real news. No, no real news. Although, let's just say people are talking. I mean, the people that, and that's the thing. People are talking, and somebody's getting hawkish, somebody's getting dovish, and it's just nuts. But I did want to get the setups in. It doesn't matter on the demo count. To me, if we're losing money, we're not. I just wanted you guys to quickly see how I go in and set up a trade when I do see a number that flips. And what I don't like about the fast is it reacts so quick to the immediate. So just looking at it from my personality, for the way I trade, I think I like the moderate better. A little slower reaction, not quite as much flip-flop. Um, and I would tend to agree, since I designed Hercules, um, the the 5 minute 15 will be similar to your um, I would say being on fast is going to be similar to your 5 minute chart, which is a little out of my realm. And that Aussie just really kind of stinks. Dollar's really kind of falling apart, at least on the fast. I don't think it's quite that weak because it doesn't show that much weakness. And we know the Aussie's not strong. And okay, so here's our trade plan. You walk away with my swing trades. That's the euro pound and the pound yen. I'm doing nothing. They're set and forget. Okay, that's my swing plan. For our day trading, we're in two trades right now. Yeah, I just like a slower moving momentum. I want the moderate shows me a stronger what is stronger. It's not going to flip quite as much, and it's a personal preference. Faster is definitely more reactive. Exactly. Quicker response. And that goes down to personal preference. What do you like to see? Do you want to see a faster immediate? Because it can flip a whole lot quicker, get your emotions all riding high. And you want to be very, very careful with that. Looking at our radar, again, pound US is kind of hanging in there. The pound looks to be weak now. Whoever said something really kind of messed something up. Dollar does not seem to be the strongest one at this point. Um, Again, this could be just the timing of the day. 7 o'clock, 7:30 kind of gets really squirrely. We have reversals happening. Even the Canadian dollar went down to 3. So there's really nothing. And this is typical. So be very, very careful around this 7 to 7:30 area for a flip. It doesn't mean your trades can't work out. That's not true. It just means be prepared for some strange potential movements. I do like the pound US structure right now. We've got 10 minutes on that candle, but the fact that we've had a strong wick down, green candle with a but it's seller pressure. If we can have this next candle right here eclipse this wick, then we know we're in a downward push. And that looks to me be more of the pound weakness than it is the dollar strength, which is based on the person who's speaking being from Britain right now. So how long he talks may cause us to be very, very happy. Strong movement down. But your emotions have to get out of the way. Okay, you have to have a trade plan. We say it over and over and over and over, and nobody seems to want to listen. And they just want to make money. And if you're looking at it that way, then you're in the wrong mindset. You really, really are. And the purpose, the end goal is money. The end goal. You wouldn't do this if the end goal was not money. However, the journey to that is even more important because it tells you where your stewardship mindset is. And we are faith people in the room. We will not preach it to you, but we live it. And so, as a matter of fact, Legacy Compass throughout the tool has Bible-based scripture that are embedded in it to remind us of why we do what we do, and to remind us that money is not our idol or should not be. We should be able to walk away from the screen and be very, very comfortable with that. Yeah, we try. We're not perfect. We are not perfect. We will never claim to be. Not on this side. Nice move on the pound US. We've got a 5-0 now. This may be a time where if you weren't in, that you would get in. You have two confirmation candles and a 5-0, which is our five spread that we talk about. Hercules, also our euro yen is now at a five spread as well. It just flipped to four, but it's fighting that five. So with the euro being a one and the pound being a zero, the dollar seems to be wanting to pick up strength again, which we anticipated because the overall trend is up. Again, if you're in the YouTube channel, definitely put in your thoughts on what you're seeing today. If there's something I need to explain a little bit better or you want to see, again, these are all in demo. These trades right here in demo. The only one in live for me is the pound yen, but that's a swing trade from our time savvy trader session. So you don't want to have any more than two trades really happening at one time because usually what happens is they're going to hit the targets at the same time and you won't be able to manage them. Make sure also that they're not correlated. Money is a tool to bring attention to it. Absolutely. Preach fine. This is, and I care about what faith you are. I mean, I do, but I don't at the same time. But regardless of what faith you are, it's going to drive your decision making, period. And those people say, well, you can't mix it. Yeah, you can. It is what drives your decision making, unless you're a wishy-washy person when it comes to faith. And then nothing drives it other than your own brain. But if you're a faith seeker, then it's going to drive your decision making. It's going to drive how you trade. It's going to drive your personality. It's whether it's the Christian faith that we believe in as a whole here or any other faith. Unapologetically, though, we are definitely Christian faith. So what do? We just wait. And I will be probably staying another 10 minutes on in the recording. And then for our members, we'll put this, what the results are. We can tell tomorrow morning. We'll be able to tell tomorrow morning based on this number right here, how we did. If we see that we're down to 20 something or whatever in the demo account, then we know we lost them all. If we see that we're up 59, 69, then we know we had at least a win or two. So we'll see. We just need some dollars. And to me, I think the dollar is going to follow through for the overall trend for today. I think it's going to be up. Yeah, I'm learning to pray with my eyes open too. I did that during the star testing for my fourth graders. Please, Lord, let them do well. I need that pound US. And right now it seems to be the dollar that's causing the weakness overall. It doesn't mean it's weak. It just means the weakness overall. It's sitting at a four. There is no spread right now other than our pound yen that qualifies for us. And looking at the dollar, we can see the strength is there. It's coming back. We got this pivot low forming. It'll be similar here, pivot low forming, but we've got a little bit of hurdle. We've created our own little problem here. I think we'll break through it to 6.4. You can see the yen is stronger now than the dollar, but that does not mean it can't still continue to climb. Our Aussie really kind of doing its same thing it was doing earlier, tapping us out there. And then we've got our euro pound swing trade just kind of crawling along. Swing trading is very, very difficult right now because it's not moving at any sort of pace long term. It just kind of sits there, which is kind of frustrating. So you really have to pay attention to what pairs you're in because it could take forever for you to lose money, basically. And remember that, again, we've said this, trading and short-term investing is not wealth building. That's an income generator. It will never fill your wealth bucket. Wealthy people don't do this. They invest in things that are going um, up and to the right. They don't normally short. Um, that doesn't mean hedge funds don't. But I'm talking about the average wealth person, not the institutionals. Come on, dollar, get some strength back. You're showing me a US yen, you've got some strength back. Go ahead and push through. I just changed that. I don't want to change that. Euro, I think that's that one. Euro pound. Yep. Euro pound. Let's go to I want to keep my dollar down here. Nice press. Nice wick into supply. But remember, this is a 15-minute chart. That is not going to be as strong as if we slide over to the 1 hour and see what we got. Nothing. Nothing as far as Sherlock. Go to the 4 hour, nothing. And so everything we're seeing right now is just a temporary small hiccup on the chart. Look at that doll. We got room all the way up. This is going to move today, most likely up. So again, if you're not able to trade at 6 Central Time, like we are here today, maybe you wait till after 7:30 Central Time because it does kind of get a little bit easier once the market opens. I would wait till 7:45 Central Time if I was just going to jump in the market. Give yourself a chance to kind of look at the overall market before you jump in. Do a market weather. Don't just jump to charts and go because you will mess things up for yourself. We just need that euro yen to obey. We've got some good solid movement happening on the trades we're in, except for our euro yen, who doesn't want, there we go. We get a little strength there on that yen, and we'll see that thing move. And we got a nice push down. We got 1 minute. That's a great candle on the pound US. Had this wick right here. Great candle down. I wasn't sure if it was going to hold on. We still got a minute or so before this thing closes. If we have just a tiny, tiny wick there, that's a good signal. We're going to move on down a little bit further. Look at the dollar strength as it does the same thing, moving up just like it mirrors this. So we're doing really well with that. Let's go ahead and blow this up a little bit so we can see what we're talking about here. Oh, there's our close, just a tiny wick. Now, let's look at our candle and see what we think could happen. We don't make predictions. We've got this pivot low now. That has been defined and structured. Now, pivot low using tide fusion is not just what's the lowest point. It could be, again, lesson, it could be, but it's looking for structure. Okay, so this is the structure that we're looking for. We got this rally out of here, drop, basing, rally out. We found resistance. This used to be demand, came back up. This is where our stop was. It doesn't get much better than that. That's only about a half of a pip to 1 pip. Had spread moved, we'd been in trouble, and then we slammed it down from that area. Luck, guys. This is luck. I'm going to be straight up honest. This is statistical analysis. We use 14 pips for a reason, but this is where it gets lucky. Okay. We should have been tapped out. We could have very well been tapped out, but we didn't. And the sellers came in and pushed it down. Then we closed it just above where we opened this one. So we got a closing here, and that's why it's green. just barely above where we closed this one. Then we moved up and then down and up and back down again. This was the down pressure and moved it up, and then we opened here. So my anticipation, we will have a wick here. If we don't, that's a great sign again, once again for us, that this could push further down because we have seller, seller. A small wick like this is a great sign. So we have an engulfing candle of this whole area. This is in, even though there's no body here, it engulfed all of that wick over wick. Notice that wick over wick there, wick over wick right here. It came into this area right there, moved away. And then we've got this movement down. So again, trade plan, following our trade plan. Welcome those who just joined us. Our trade plan is this. We're in a day trade with a pound US. Our Hercules at 6.0. Our spread is high enough. We always look for 5 or more. And then we come down here and we put our 10 pip mark. 60% of the time we hit our 10 pip mark. When we hit our 10 pip mark, we're going to remove 4,200 of our position, and we're going to move our stop as fast as possible to our 7 pip mark. And that's how we play it. In this case, I'm going to move it fast. Now, you have the right per our trade plan to take the whole time of the candle to move it to the most logical place. At this point, the point where it's at is the most logical place. So if I'm going to move, I could move it to here. Most likely, I am going to move it to my 7 pip mark. So with that being said, let's see where that's going to be at. I'm going to call that 31.56, 31.55. 31, that's the price moving right now. No, it's 31.53.9. And we'll just see what happens. We're still 6-0. This may not happen all at once. Now we're getting a little bit better look here as well. Notice our dollar is pushing through that one little Sherlock zone. We're definitely doing much better overall in every trade. And we just wait. I'm just going to wait a few more moments. I'd like to show you guys one last time of how we remove that 25%, but it may not happen in our time frame. The problem is even then I cannot leave I've got options. If I have to leave, I can close all positions out and take whatever small profit or loss that's there. I could do that. Prefer not doing that. I prefer to play the game out. But so at 7:20, I'm gonna go ahead and stop the recording at 7:20 Central Time, just to make sure we have no tide fusion alerts today. So that's interesting since we have trends. Small little pullback on the pound US. It is not scary because nothing's moved with the dollar or the yen or the pound. This is typical. Going back into that major area right there, just ebb and flow. Welcome again. Popping in, got a new person walking. If you can, put where you're from in the chat box. I'd love to know where you're from. We're currently watching 2 day trades and two swing trades. Waiting on the dollar to really kind of do what it's supposed to do. It's still fighting. We had the nice push up. We don't have a whole lot of chatters in here, Jonathan. We have some watchers and not a lot of chatters, which is okay. I will be honest with all of you guys. When I first met Al, they had all sorts of stuff all over their screen, clouds. It was a mess. I sat there probably for 2 to 3 months not saying a word because it was just not good. I couldn't figure out what they were doing. Okay, so the reason we're paused at this moment is because our dollar decided to kind of waver just for a moment of time. Yeah, and you never want to sound foolish, and you're really not. I really want my swing trades to move away from the area that they're at, though. because they're kind of bogged down too. If those things will move out of the way, then I bet our day trades will move much quicker too. But we're just waiting on that dollar. 730 is almost here, and the dollar just needs to get real strong real quick. A push up and out, and all of a sudden these are all going to hit at the same time. Notice what's happening with our US CAD. Another symbol that we may have a lowering of uh, oil prices. Let's see something. I've never looked this way. Let's see oil. Um, Brent. Crude oil, cash. Let's go with, I want to go for somebody that's, I don't know these well enough. I'm going to go right here just for the sake. I don't know if that's the best quality one. There, bing, there you go. Let's take this out. Little lesson here. What do we anticipate oil doing? We anticipate a drop, base drop. If this continues to drop, we'll create another Sherlock, but we have to look on a higher time frame. It looks just like gold. There's no demand. So we've got this 4 hour now. We've broken. My anticipation will have a retracement back to this area at the 76, and we're going to continue down, which is going to be great. So we're going to try to go down to that 73, go down to our dollar. We broke a major daily demand area. Huge. We got a little ways to go down to the, call it $73 mark. And that's a good area. I would not go short on that any much past that. Take a good 3 day look at it. Again, a 3 day zone. We do have some room to where we were 2025. And I'm betting the Trump administration wants to take it right to around the 70 mark and let it sit. We're in a weekly demand, but that's still at $70 mark. That's where he wants to be. So, yeah. So, what are we going to do with the US CAD? Well, that tells us that we've got some play in the US CAD today. We're going to see some uh, movement up, most likely, in the US CAD. And that's probably what's going to happen. Again, we can't make predictions on it, but you can use oil to kind of guide where you're thinking too, because Canadian dollar is kind of tied to it. All right, it looks like a patient morning. We are at the 723 mark, and we're kind of negative now with our day trades. We've got this little weakness of the dollar, and it's again, it's not that big of a deal. It's only going to be a big deal if this green encompasses this whole entire wick. Otherwise, we're at a level right here, which is what we call a doji kind of type candle, and that's the area of control at 3163. And we just sit and wait. And it wouldn't surprise me if we just kind of get up there and then push down from there. Finally, our Aussie US is kind of falling apart, but not according to plan. Let's put it that way. Let's go make sure that we got that. Yeah, I'm not so sure I like the fastest much. It does give us a little quicker trigger to get to that spread, though. That could be beneficial. Dollar creeping up to that six area, which is probably where it's going to be staying. The yen is a safe haven as well, especially since they did the increase of their interest rate. Now we're at the seven. We should see some movement now. Here's our dollar strength. Hey, thanks for being here. Thanks for being in the YouTube channel, kind of getting those guys all watching. Hey, I'm glad you did get a bond. Congratulations, blessings, and definitely nap time. I've been up a long time as well. Have a great day, Jonathan. Thanks again. Just a few more minutes, and then we're going to call it a day, and then I'll give you my plan for our how to get out of these trades. You've got a couple options. Um, you will close them out as is. You can set and forget because you already accepted the loss. I have to be careful because we already took 1.5 loss, so I want to be as tight as I possibly can with any more additional losses in order to avoid um, overextending our account in a day. You don't want to blow up your account in a day, just chasing stuff. So, welcome again. We got some people popping in, popping out. Introduce yourself if you would. You are lagging just a little bit behind, it looks like, in the YouTube channel. Welcome. Introduce yourself in the chat room. We've got about 5 more minutes in the session. Um, Started early, went a little longer than normal. And now my dogs showed up. My dogs have showed up. That means everybody's up and moving. And so let's take a quick look before we are done. For the morning, let's take a quick look at the trades. Again, the pound yen, we're swing trading. We're not looking at that. If you're in that, it's fine, but we're not addressing it today because it is a 5-0, but we're already in it as a swing trade. Same thing with the euro pound. It's got a 1-0 spread, so we would not be day trading it anyway, and we are in that one as well for the swing trade. So the two trades that we are currently in are the euro pound. 6-1 is a 5 spread, which means it still qualifies. Let's talk about structure. We are in it at a good spot. We have a pretty good 1% risk. I would have liked it been a little bit higher than that, but it is what it is. So we're waiting. We had a nice seller's candle with a small wick, followed by a seller candle with a small wick, followed currently with a kind of a flat. We're kind of sitting here, no man's land, waiting for the opening. And this could happen very, very quickly as it falls apart at a 6-2 now, falls apart, touches our line. We will remove a portion of it, move our stop down to a 7 pip. So 7 pip is going to be just above our 10 pip, obviously. It's going to be right about there at the quarter mark, 183 quarter. Okay, somewhere right around there. Don't have to be too super precise. But you definitely want to protect that stop, and that means you got a full protected trade. Pound US looks like it wanted to be the one that's going to hit first, but it's not reacting like a 7-0. I do like the fact that Hercules is pointing up and this is flattened out. And let's look at structure. We have a pivot low that was formed based on tide fusion. We have green candle, even though this is a seller candle, followed by a green candle and definitely a seller candle, but this is a buyer candle currently right at the opening. So we're just going to wait this one out. It could turn at any time and become sort of a doji type candle. Again, if you're not in the trade, this is really not the structure to get in the trade right yet. You're kind of in the middle, even though that's where my entry was. It's not the structure I would be getting in at currently if I was not already in it. And we just kind of wait. And now we're hitting that chaos that comes right before the opening. Now we got 6-0 going in. That's never a good sign. We want that dollar to stay at least 6. We don't want it to drop too much. Go back to 7. And we're watching the dollar. We can come over here and watch the dollar, and that will tell you what's going to happen pretty much. Got dollar strength. So every time we blink green, we go to 7, it seems like. Pound got a little bit of strength, not a big deal. And now we're getting ready to be at the open. We're just a few seconds from the opening. We just got a few in the room now watching. Again, I'd love for you to introduce yourself so you don't have to tell a whole lot of detail, but just let me know you're in here by putting where you're from in the chat box. And that's always good to know when people are watching. You may be driving, so don't do it if you're driving. Maybe you're at work. And now we wait. We are at the 7:30 moment now. Now we're going to see some directional move to open the market. And I'm going to go ahead and close my door because my dogs will want to start barking at me. And again, we have alerts on those yellow lines. Again, welcome. Got another newbie in here. They pop in, pop out. Quite a few people pop in, pop out, checking things out, don't know where they're at. And just like our title says, we trade the plan. If you don't have the plan and you would like the trading plan that we use, let me know. I can definitely send it to you. And it's a usable where you can edit it yourself. There's our US CAD. Now, this is an interesting one in respect to the oil. Let's look at this one. This may be a breakout for us. If we want, the spread's not quite big enough quite yet. If this would give me a 5 spread, then I'm taking it out. This has been a fantastic pair. And most likely we measure, let me measure this out right here. Where's my 14 at? I could still take it. Uh, that's gonna be real tight there. But again, we're not gonna rush into that. Structure's almost there. We just don't have the current momentum there. Dollar gaining some strength. Moving on up. And remember, the dollar's going to react, and then the pairs are going to react to that. So it's just a slightly ahead. All right, we're getting some movement on both pairs simultaneously, just like we said, and that typically happens. So we just got to be ready for both of them. We've already calculated what we're going to remove, and it looks like the euro yen may be first. So let's go ahead and pull that up, and we'll watch. We'll go to here. We'll close position, partial close. We'll put our number in. And usually when I do this, it immediately bounces off of there. And we'll be ready to go. And just like I said, that doesn't mean it won't. So again, those in the YouTube channel, you're just slightly behind. A little bit lag. And just as soon as I do this, the pound US will come up and touch its thing. But this is typical at 7:30 hour. A little stronger moves, markets open and get settled in. Trends take over. Look at that yen or that euro go down in weakness. It's a 6-1 now, so it's a 5 spread. Okay, since it seems to like it wants to lag a little bit, let's see where we are over here. This is close as well. Goodness gracious, we're just sitting there. Look at that dollar strength. A little bit breaking for that euro pound swing. Still kind of lingering on the pound yen swing. Okay, it looks like they're both coming into the same zone at the same identical time. That's just crazy. So let's go back over here again and get prepared. Isn't this fun? 630. Trade the plan, not the noise. And here we go. As soon as it touches, I'm going to go ahead and get out because I have a feeling that pound US is going to do the same thing. So I want to be really close to it, even if the alert doesn't go. If my visuals show me that it's touching, spread it out just a little bit more. And I have a feeling we'll get a notification that the pound US is going to do its thing with that dollar pushing like it did. But as soon as I put this up, it's like the market knows and it bounces off. As soon as I close it, we got a 6-0 now on this one. Are you kidding me? Now that we've got people watching and seeing it profit taken, as soon as we get into profit taking mode, okay, so let's go ahead and back off of this one again. Let's go back and see what we got over here to the pound. Yeah, we just got, okay, so this is what the picture is. The dollar's pressing up. We've got a little bit of a bounce as well. We went down, but we're bouncing just like it is here. This very well could come right back down to this area as we would expect and pop back up. Okay, what was once resistance becomes support. But the dollar is the strong one right now. So my key is just wait for the alert. Don't get in there to ready to remove anything. 7-0 on the Euro US. What a fantastic. Again, this would be the picture of it broke out here. The CAD's not moving though. It's only a 3. We did have a fallout with the Aussie US finally. And again, we wait. The dollar's just gaining some more strength again. When next close candle is in 9 minutes, I would love to take profit off, and I may do it for the session. So to be able to walk away, I have family here, and to be able to walk away might be nice. But I hate to do it when that dollar looks as strong as it does. I hate to take profit off the table when its structures are all there. Hope you guys are enjoying this. We've had two great days in a row. Last week was really kind of a no trade week. I mean, we just didn't have a lot to look at. Our tools weren't in alignment, and we don't trade the noise. We don't trade the emotion. We don't trade the hype. We don't do any of that stuff. Keep it as simple as possible. We keep our charts clean. I mean, you could turn Sherlock off if you don't like seeing all that. I like keeping it on so I can see what the support and resistance is. And remember, those members, you get Sherlock with membership. So if you don't know what Sherlock is, you want to play with it, let me know. Every member has access to Sherlock. There we go. We get this moved right here. Come on now. I'm not doing anything yet. There's our 11. Let's highlight it at least. We're going to need to get around 13 for this to work. Dollar still hanging on. This one looks more poised to do it faster than this one. So we're going to blow this one up again. I am not putting anything in yet until we get close to that wick. But it could hit right all at once. Boom. And then done. 6-0. Pretty good. But whatever's hanging on here, it's at 25. If you've ever heard the study of the quarters, this is a quarter theory, 183.25. The yen pairs definitely like the quarters and whole numbers. This one may just close right here and just sit here. And we go back out. Dollars hanging on. Again, there's nothing other than algo trading, just algo trading. But somebody's doing some sort of moving average. Look at the 5-minute chart, nothing ahead of it, nothing there. Again, tide fusions for 4 hour. You go to your 30-minute chart, there's nothing ahead of it. This is just people buying in and getting stopped out if they were shorting. Nothing there on that. At 4 hour, nothing there. And you can see the 4 hour candles, fantastic. Get to your 6 hour, nothing there at all. Nice rally, base rally here. This would be a great zone. And there's our alert on the pound US. So let's get back down. And the one that I thought would not did. And we're going to come over here, blow it up, take it off the board. That's going to be close partial. And we said, I don't even remember the number we said, 4,200, 4,200, partially closed. Didn't quite get it right at the spot, but we're going to go ahead and move right on down to our area, which is going to be right around $7. And we'll measure off, confirm, and so we're ready to roll. That one's done. That's a profitable trade. That's how we do it. And now we wait. There's nothing for us to do. I am going to measure, make sure I am getting my full 7 pips though. Not quite there, it doesn't look like. So I need to get to the 31.54 mark. Now that's going to probably push me out of the trade, which is okay. I rather protect my profits at this point. And that helps us with the earlier losses that we had. So we can walk away from this one and let it do what it's going to do. So fantastic trade. This one's close, so we'll go ahead and prepare again. It did touch. If I was watching it, I would have removed. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. So prepare it because we do have a change in the numbers, and I want to go ahead and partially close since it did touch. And it's going to go down and touch it again. And then I am going to move again to a reasonable spot. And this probably will touch me out. It just touched, and we confirm. And now we're going to measure out, and we can walk away after this. Having known we did a followed our plan, that's the key. This one very well may move it all down at the 25 mark. And that's a pretty good place to be. There we go. Confirm. Move on down. We'd love to see it hit the full, have two trades hit the full. If that happens, we will definitely end with a profitable day. And it looks like it wants to. And the pound yen just did. We are out for the full trade there. Fantastic day today. Fantastic. And that probably will go into this one too. So let's take a screenshot of this one. This was a fantastic trade. Played to the rules, took a full trade. I like to take screenshots, sharing with the users and the members here. Fantastic trade. So we did not revenge trade um, at all. So I'm going to put pound US. So I know what this is. P B B B B G B P D 15. Yeah, and it doesn't get much prettier than that, guys. That's a fantastic trade. Followed the plan all the way through. We entered, we waited our time. We had a loss on it earlier, but we followed it, re-engaged when the numbers told us to. We got a spread of more than five. We hit our initial target here, removed 25% of our position. Mathematically, that shows us the highest potential of growth. And then we went all the way on the 75%, all the way down to our 17.5 mark. So it's a 1.25 trade. Notice our Euro US. I want you to look at the Dixie. The dollar told us this was going to happen. I told you this would lead, and it did. And it has, and it will. And so the rest of the day, you're going to notice even our swing trades are in a nice profitable position. We are still in the euro yen, but we can walk away knowing that we had a strong session today. And no matter what we do today, we are going to end up ahead today, even if it's just a small amount. It may not be our full 1%, but we're going to be ahead at the end of the day, which is a wonderful feeling. And we walk away. We don't ever want to overtrade. All right, guys, we had a full 100 minutes of lessons today in the Hawkeye trading session. Again, we'll be here tomorrow morning, 6 o'clock Central Time in the morning. We'll go probably an hour tomorrow. Probably won't go the full hour and a half, but we will be here in the morning for you guys on YouTube as well as in our Zoom room. Y'all have a great afternoon. God bless. I hope things worked out green for you guys today. Take care.